It's a beautiful Sunday morning. Markets this past week have continued to grind upwards. I'm going to walk you through my best stock picks and swing trading plan for the week. So grab yourself a cup of coffee and let's head into it. All right, guys, let's head into the stock heat map for the past week. Our biggest movers were Apple at 7%, Google 6%, Meta 4%, and Tesla 15%. I hope you guys have caught this trade on Tesla that I mentioned last week. If not, I got more for you. So let's head into the SPX. Very clean channel, still grinding upwards. We have to be careful here as we go up, continue to grind up. We had a very nice volume day here though. And we need to be careful as we get a bit overextended because we will get some pullbacks along the way. But overall, very clean market structure. And your line in the sand, your number to watch here is a 65.30. This acted as resistance here, and it acted as support here. And then when we wicked down on Wednesday, buyers stepped in and we are holding, the EMA. So overall, a very good look on the market. And even though the SPY and triple Qs are starting to look a little bit extended, there are a lot of stocks that are just getting ready to break out. So this is just something we watch out for, understand what's happening in the broad market when we are trading other stocks. But overall, very bullish, looking good. Let's look at IBM. This one is a trade has been going on for about close to a week and a half now. And as we hit this level here at 266, I took some profits and holding the smaller position to get the gap fill up here. Also, we have this resistance zone here at 277, so watching out for that. This is my final target on IBM. Looking at NVDA. Big move to the upside, long-term move. What's looking here like a bull flag. And what I'm watching out for NVIDIA is this 180 zone. This is your resistance here off of this candle. And it is also the top of this channel to the downside, which is our bull flag. Once we break out above 180, this is an opportunity for a long. I will be watching this. We could get a very nice move up to the upside here. As we continue up, optimism surrounding NVIDIA, still growing, looking great. No problems there. Affirm. This one, I was hoping it would break out last week. It pierced the support level, the resistance level, and it held. Compared to this candle here, you see we went up above it and then we pulled back right away. Struggled a bit on this candle here, but now we've broken through and closed at a higher level. So I am in this one, looking for continuation up, retest of the $100 mark. When you have a big number like $100, it tends to be a psychological number. So a lot of people might sell here, but if we can catch this move up, the rest of the move, it's another 8% and possibly a little bit more. I will start scaling out as I get to closer to $100. Lululemon here doing some bottom fishing, trying to get a stock that's been beaten down very heavily. Let me switch to the weekly chart here so you can see the big picture. We haven't been this low since March of 2020. And this held up as a very nice support zone, and then it ripped really high after. So, considering that we are in the same area here, we are watching for a reaction. And I did pick up a beginner position on this. And if it starts moving up a little bit higher and breaks this first resistance, I'm going to add into it. and probably play it up to like the 50 EMA here. That's a big move if we get that. So I think risk reward on this stock is pretty good, whether you are doing it as a short-term swing or a medium term. We could get back up to 217, then to 247, and then here we'll have major resistance at 285. So keeping an eye on Lululemon. BMNR. Switch back to the daily here. I called this one out a couple days ago, actually about 2 weeks back. I've been covering this. As we got through this high volume area here, this was what I told everybody is your resistance. This is the wall that you need to get through. And once we break through this wall, it's straight up. So what is this line? So first off, here you had this, after this big drop, you had this big chop. We formed some structure, and there's a lot of noise here. But when you look at it, this area is where it failed and it came down. So it only makes sense that here, this would be a resistance zone coming back up. And, we've held this zone here at $39, also a support. So we're looking good. Right now, I'm targeting the $80 mark. I think it will break through. Crypto is looking like it's setting up for a breakout. So I am in this position, hoping for this to continue upwards early in the week. Continue watching it. We'll keep you guys updated on this stock. MicroStrategy looking to come back from a disgusting flush out the past couple of weeks. And we have broken out of the channel. We have gotten above this point of control here. And we've gotten above the 1321 EMAs. And we are now at this blue line, which is a 200 SMA. Above it, we got the 50 EMA. So what's happening here, I think, is this is a zone where it's compressing in between the EMAs and is setting up for a slingshot to the upside. Now, got to keep in mind that MicroStrategy is not the hot stock it used to be. This thing used to pump like crazy whenever Bitcoin made a move. That is not the case anymore, but still, from a technical standpoint, it still can be traded, and there could be money be made on this. Personally, I've shied away from it and just prefer to do either Bitcoin or IBIT, but that's just my personal preference because the leverage we've been getting from MicroStrategy and having it follow Bitcoin, it hasn't really been doing that great in my opinion. SBET, this is a SharpLink Gaming. This is a second to BMNR, and BMNR has been buying way more Ethereum than SBET, so this is kind of fallen out of favor. And I believe their MNAV went below 1. So if you buy this, you're buying Ethereum at a discount. But the real question here is, do you believe in this company? Is this going to succeed or not? I'll leave that for you to answer. But compared to BMNR, this is below the EMAs and below this point of control and below this resistance level here. Actually, let's draw it out from here to here. Maybe a little bit higher like that so we can get this zone, and this. It is sitting below resistance. So it's not looking as good as BMNR. I would not trade this. That's just my preference. UPXI, this is a Solana treasury company. Very speculative, but Solana has been heating up, and I'm going to show you that chart in just a couple minutes. I believe that this thing here, we have this trend line all the way from the bottom here, and then, we see, let me zoom in so you can see this. As the line went here, we kind of had like a wick below, and then when we tried to break above it, we had a wick, brought it back down. So this line is in effect, not impacting it so much here, but it is holding it down. Maybe we need to bring it a little bit this way. So once we get above this area here, $7 mark, this is your signal for a possible long. I'm going to add my alert here just in case it happens on Monday. I might be getting into it. And then risk reward. Here's your risk down 18%. Your reward here 27 to 48%, probably targeting around 927, where we have this area here. So this is your like major overhead resistance. I'm just going to mark it here so we can be prepared for it. So yeah, if this breaks out here, get about a 40% move. I think 40% to 13%, I think that's a very good risk reward ratio. Tesla, I did a separate video on this yesterday, so if you want to find out about this and how I'm playing it, I'm going to link the video for you. AMD, this one, I'm not a big fan of AMD, but this is looking like a nice setup. We had this long-term downtrend channel, and then we broke out of it. We came down here, found support at this wick here, at the 148 zone. We've gone up, made new highs, made a high here, and then we have these two peaks, kind of like a double top formed here, like an M shape, and that signaled the top of this move. But we've come down, we've tested the support once, and we've tested it twice. That tells me that we are sitting at a very strong support level. And considering that we are in a uptrend and we just had consolidation, this could be setting up for a big push to up here all the way to the top. You could try doing a measured move. This is, kind of speculative, but you take it from the bottom to the same size here, move from the bottom here, up here. That'll take you about to like $200. So let's see how far that gets us. It's about a 20% move if it happens. So yeah, we're at support. It's looking like a good buy. I don't think this line here is significant anymore, but I'm going to be watching this Monday. I don't have a position, but if we tag this 162 zone, this is going to set up for a beautiful, beautiful push to the upside. Of course, not financial advice. Do your own research and, consider hoping we don't get any type of bad news on Monday, and a lot of political stuff brewing. Hopefully that stays calm and, markets continue to rally up. CoreWeave, I exited this one, but I've been watching it for maybe another entry. I took a long off this double bottom here once we got up here on this candle, took the long, exited here. We have two trend lines, one support below, one resistance above, right? We have broken through this green line. So it's now technically support. So this should hold here. If it comes down, you can forget about the move. But also we have the EMAs crossing here and push to the upside. If we can get up into this zone, we will likely head up to 180. If we start to curl down and this move fails, then you can just forget about having a long on this one. Datadog, similar charts on many of these stocks. Big move, long-term to the upside, like a double top here, pull back, and then we have a trend line here, holding the EMAs, getting ready for another push up. Lots of great stocks setting up this week. 13% easy on this. So what you got to do is just watch the stocks, see which ones are moving, which ones are breaking these zones, and that could be your next trade. Get into crypto here. Lots of arrows all over the place. So the reason I did this is because I want to give you guys a little bit of a story here so you can understand that this is not bad, what's happening here. This is actually a good thing. Back in June, we ripped upwards. We found a resistance level, tried to go up above it, failed, and then we got the big breakout. Period of sideways action. Market got a little bit complacent, couldn't push it up to the top, right? So the first thing we need to pay attention to is this line here at 111. This was an important support zone. This was the line in the sand, and it broke through, and people got really spooked out. This is the end of the Bitcoin bull market. It's not. We came back up, and not only that, we have a cross on the EMAs here, crossing and then opening up to the upside. We have this trend line, which coincides with the EMA support right there. Let me clean this up a bit. So this is, in my opinion, probably the last stand. I mean, we could come down here and then try and get back up. But in order for Bitcoin to get above its all-time highs, you need a good amount of momentum to push it up. So watching this into the next 1 or 2 trading days, if this begins to come down, probably not looking good for Bitcoin. I really want it to get above this 118 level. This is the area where you really got to get above. Why? First off, you have this point of control up here, volume by price. And the second thing is you have this trend line, which meets it up here. Okay. So this area is what you want to watch out for. Above it, bullish, below it, bearish. However, I would not short Bitcoin. I'm just looking, I only trade in the direction of the market. Ethereum, kind of a different trend here. Surprisingly, it's not moving exactly with Bitcoin. Here we have like a triangle formation, and below here we have this trend line, which has been holding up beautifully. You have 1, 2, 3, 4 points of contact, and then you have the top section of the trend line. Just looking for a breakout above here. This is all we need to do. We just need to come up here. If you can come up here, we're going up, I think, new highs on Ethereum very soon. Solana starting to heat up, looking really good in my opinion. We have this trend line here, 1, 2, 3, and then a fourth try. We pushed through it, came back to retrace it, and we're holding. Just looking for continuation. A lot of new narratives on Solana happening right now. I'm not going to get into that right now. Maybe I'll make a video about it. If you guys want a video on Solana, let me know. Cardano, having this, what looks like a beautiful cup and handle forming. Still don't have the handle here. It's just, forming like a cup shape. And then once it goes up here, we would expect the same height of this move to be extended to the upside. Likewise, for Chainlink, Chainlink's pattern is formed a little bit ahead of what's happening with ADA. Here, you still haven't formed the whole part of the cup here. Chainlink, we already have the cup, we have the handle. The handle could be like a channel to the downside, or it could just loop around like this. But the important thing is you get a break above this $27 mark, and that should take you up to about $44 on Chainlink. Last but not least, SUI. Sideways action, and however, we have this trend line here, and it seems to be respecting it very well. You got 1 point here, contact, here's a second, here's your third, here's your fourth, and when you had a downtrend, and then now it's shifted out of this trend line. Now you are looking for a change in momentum to the upside. You have a cross on the EMAs. You have the 200 SMA curling upward. It's looking good for SUI. I think the whole crypto market should move together. We just need to watch it this week, see what happens. So I want to tell you guys something important. This is a totally new channel that I created to help people in their swing trading journey. If you found this information helpful, please support me by giving me a subscribe and a thumbs up. That way, you can get updates as we go along. If you have any special requests, stocks to analyze, crypto, let me know in the comments below. If you have any suggestions on how I could improve these videos, also please let me know. And I will talk to you guys again during the week. Take care, and let's make some money.